President, Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs. Thank you for joining us. And the news has just broken that there have been some fatalities. 4 people have been killed by the Iranian missile impact in Beit Shemesh. Your reaction to that and what we just heard from the Defense Ministry spokesperson?
Well, thank you for having me on the program. Let me just update that there are 6 fatalities at this point, not 4, but 6, and that is not a final number. I am unsurprised at the ongoing attempts of the Iranian regime to murder civilians. They've been doing it since 1979. They're doing it to their own people by the tens of thousands, and they're doing it to our people, and they're also firing on our Arab neighbors across the Middle East. So this has been the regime's declaration of Israel as what they call the little evil, and the United States is the great evil, and they are just keeping the promises that they made when Grand Ayatollah Khomeini returned from Paris in 1979, and then he was, of course, followed by Khamenei, who is no longer with us. But there's a lot of work to be done to move this, change this murderous regime that will prevent any kind of stability, security, not only for Israel, but for our Arab neighbors and for the international community as well. These are difficult times, but this has been a very, very important mission that the Iranian people today are leading and demanding that this regime be forever dismantled and replaced.
But Dr. Diker, are we really seeing that? We've seen statements coming from the US and from Israel asking the people of Iran to rise up, but we've not really seen that happening. In fact, there have been protests. There's the red flag of vengeance that has gone up on the mosque there in Tehran, and the bombing, the objectives that they wanted to achieve. Do you feel it's in fact triggered consequences that maybe you were trying to prevent?
No,
the kind of retaliation we're seeing
is to prevent the Iran. We're not. This is not a conflict. This is a jihad. I'm sure you're familiar in India with what jihad is all about. Your Prime Minister Modi, who just had an historic visit to Jerusalem, talked about the shared mission of fighting radical Islamic terrorism in India as well as in Israel. And I think that if you go back and look at His Excellency's speech in the Israeli Knesset, in our parliament, it will shed a lot of light on the questions that you're asking right now.
Dr. Diker, just hold on for half a second. I want to focus a little bit more on the images that we've got up on our screen. You're with the Jerusalem Center for Security. This is a horrific attack in Jerusalem, in Beit Shemesh, and you are confirming to us that 6 Israeli nationals, or 6 people in that area, have been killed. And I'm told that includes possibly children in this Iranian missile attack. Is that right?
According to what we understand, and this is just in the last few minutes alone, there are 6 fatalities, and it is not a final number, and it is a result of the Iranian regime's direct targeting of civilian structures. At the same time, we are aware that there have been civilians in Iran that have also been killed, but the main difference is that Israel only targets regime targets, as well as ballistic missile headquarters, as well as the nuclear sites that the United States and Israel targeted together in Fordo, Isfahan, and...
No, but Dr. Diker, in war, with all due respect, sir, we've seen 80, 90 school children being killed in missile attacks in Tehran. In fact, over 100. So, in the heat of war, it's tragic,
yes,
but I will say this sort of thing happens. But my question is this a deliberate attack, in your opinion, in this area, in Beit Shemesh, on a residential area? Is that a residential area?
Absolutely. I know Beit Shemesh extremely well. It's a bedroom community of Jerusalem. It's just about 20 to 30 minutes from the center of the city. And clearly there are no governmental or defense-related targets there. They're all residential homes, and that this was a murderous attack by a murderous regime. But then again, I've said before, and I think that the entire free world understands that this regime was born out of sin, was born in order to destroy the Jewish people and the Jewish state. They said it themselves over the years, and they had become a major focus of international incitement to terrorism and murder. The European Union and the United Kingdom and the U.S. State Department have designated the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and their Quds Force external terror apparatuses as being the major number one purveyor of terrorism in the world. So this is just a continuation of what they declare and what some of their capabilities remain.
All right.
So
I'm very concerned at this stage at that Beit Shemesh situation, 6 people dead, which would make this one of the most major attack to have struck Israel. It is very tragic when there's a loss of life, and if it's
absolutely,
just
and possibly
it's likely
children
to go
as well,
up over a period of time, then that becomes a real concern for us. But sir, thank you very much for joining us.